This match had Chris Graham taking on Shelby. And the story of this match is really, it ain't over till it's over in jiu-jitsu. And solid defense can often take you to victory if the match is no time limit. So you see Shelby come out and pull a half guard. And it might be a little bit of a spoiler alert, but if you're in half guard against Shelby, you're likely going to have to deal with the lockdown. He's quite good at getting it on. And a lot of this match, when Chris was in top half guard, he was often running into a roadblock here with Shelby being able to lock the lockdown on and pressuring him into sweeps or threatening submission attempts, so he would have to go to the bottom. See how Shelby has Chris Graham's leg extended now? Chris Graham doesn't want that. He's looking to use his other foot or find a way to get that foot off of Shelby's foot. He's going to try to bring his heel to his butt, and then he can also use that other foot to kind of block Shelby's foot and kind of untangle the legs there. Lockdown, you also, once the guy puts it on you, you know he's going to want to do it again and again, so you can try to keep the foot to the opposite side of his body. But Shelby did a great job there of using that lockdown to sweep and get on top. But as you know, no time limit, so the points don't matter. But it still is very valuable to be in top position because you have gravity on your side. You're making him carry your weight. Chris got control of the sleeve. Nicely done. He was able to sweep Shelby right back. Now he's on top. Now notice Chris Graham's head position here. His head is over the far shoulder of Shelby. That's good for when you're trying to pressure pass. But in order for Shelby to not get that lockdown, Chris Graham should bring his trap foot, his right foot, very close to his other foot here. If he keeps that other foot stretched over in that kind of left far quadrant there, if you will, then Shelby's going to get that lockdown easily. So Chris Graham, where you can see his right foot, you shouldn't be able to see it if he gets it on that side and he gets Shelby's foot out of the way. But Shelby did it again. He used the lockdown to sweep. Here's in another really good position. That lockdown can just be so annoying if you don't know how to deal with it, and there is ways around it here. If you have a hard time with it, just get Shelby to put you in it next time you roll with them. So now Shelby has a really good opportunity here to transition to either a Darce. Looks like he's thinking Darce. He could also possibly go guillotine or maybe even arm triangle. But you can tell he doesn't want to rush, and in a no time limit match, you have to kind of walk the fine line of taking advantage of your opportunity, but not trying to rush either because you don't want to gas yourself out. And that was a nice recovery by Chris Graham to get his knees back in the equation and put a guard back on Shelby. So there was some half guard battling. Chris Graham was able to transition to a close guard. Shelby sits back, throws the leg over. That means he's looking to attack the legs. Brings both leg over. Maybe looking to transition to an ankle lock. Chris Graham's trying to get a hold of the sleeve. That's a good thing to do defensively. It's going to be tough for him to get you with one hand. So yeah, he's trying to find Shelby's wrists there. Trying to sit up. Remember, when the legs are tangled up like this, both guys can have shots on each other to go for submission. This is why it's often a risky game. Usually one guy wants it and the other guy doesn't. Here now they transition out of the legs and they get back to stand up. Nice battling so far. Chris Graham pulls guard right away into that tripod sweep. What Shelby is to the lockdown, Chris Graham is to the tripod sweep. Now Shelby sweeps him right back. Here, both these guys are doing an excellent job of hitting their sweeps and getting up on top position. And it's great, especially these guys are both purple belts now, but when you're white belt, blue belt, purple belt, you kind of have to develop one move here. Jiu-jitsu, it's just endless, and there's so much to learn, so much to know. You really got to refine your focus. Try to have one thing that you feel like you can hit on anyone in the gym. You realistically might not be able to hit it on everybody, but if you can have a move from the bottom, a move from the top, a sweep, or a submission that you know works and works well on nearly everybody, that means you're starting to master the move. Okay, that's the whole process of jiu-jitsu. You got to slowly try to master these moves one by one rather than trying to learn 30 different things at once. It's going to be a lot easier and it will make you a lot better if you just slowly take your time with the techniques. Try to pick one technique and try to use it for a week rather than a class. You'll find yourself a lot more comfortable with it, and you'll hopefully know kind of the ins and outs of what to do when it's not working, what you can transition to when it is working. Chris Graham's able to control the distance. He's got the left knee shield in, and he's got a hand on the collar. Shelby may be thinking about attacking the legs again. Chris Graham used that to get on top. Now he's fighting to get an underhook. He's got to be careful because Shelby's going to lock that lockdown again. And lockdown actually works really well if you... Oh, see, he's got it on. He's got it on again. And you're really not going to be able to have a strong base with that. Now he's has potential to get him in that banana split. It's like a hip stretcher. Here, if Shelby's can get Chris Graham's left leg a little bit higher on his shoulder, he can maybe submit him. See how Chris Graham's forced to grab Shelby's head? That's because Shelby's forcing him into the splits. A lot of people don't like that. Shelby's able to use that to get on top, but that was well done by Chris Graham. That was definitely on tight and uncomfortable, and he was able just to do enough to relieve the pressure and keep the match going. And with no points involved, it doesn't matter that he had to roll to the bottom there. He gave up top position, which is something you generally don't want to do until you have to, kind of thing. Go to the bottom if you think it's going to get you at the submission or kind of save you, and if you're in a situation like that. But generally, you want to be on top. And Shelby's in a good spot here where he's on the back with one hook. He's looking to trap an arm. He's in a great spot. He can really take his time. Both the guys have had their shots kind of playing offense in top position, but now this is the first dominant position, I would say, of the match. Chris Graham's doing a good job so far of keeping it cool. He's not overreacting or spazzing out or anything. He's just got to stay calm and deal with those hands. The whole battle here is the hand fight. Chris is hanging tough in here so far. He's on the underhook side. He's grabbing at the foot. See how he's moving his hips away? He forces Shelby to transfer to a mount. That was smart choice by Shelby. He could have totally lost the back and been into a neutral position, but instead he realized what was happening, and instead of losing everything, he transitioned to the mount, which would score him another 4 points if this was a points match. So you can see how points, it does encourage good grappling, but see how Chris Graham's trying to elbow knee escape, and Shelby did a good job of controlling the head here. He's probably thinking about trying to go back to the back control. Chris Graham has to try to recover a half guard, and he does. So Shelby was on the attack for quite a while there. So Chris Graham really has to dig deep to try to get some attacks off of his own. And it can be tough in his situation because he had to use a lot of energy to escape out of that back control. Shelby would have had to use a little less to just maintain the position. And now he's right back on top again. He remounts. Shelby doing a really good job of controlling Chris's head through the cross face with his left arm. See how Chris Graham's fighting with his legs. He's got the hands on the hips, looking to create space to bring a knee through, but Shelby did a really good job of staying high. He's staying above Chris's hips with his own hips. He's trying to get behind him. Chris Graham has a foot trapped, but if Shelby were to fall to his right shoulder, he could turn this into a back take, like so. Now he's got the left foot posted on the hip. Again, we're back in the same situation. Chris has to stay calm, deal with those hands. He doesn't want Shelby getting a deep collar grip with that left hand. That would be game over. He's got to try to get a 2-on-1 on that choking hand if he can. He doesn't want to have to mess around with that bottom hand too much. Shelby in this situation should just be really opening the lapel with his right hand and feeding it to his left hand and try to get as deep of a grip as he can. He might have been able to get the collar choke. In these situations, it's so important to stay calm and breathe. It's a simple thing just to breathe, obviously, but it really saves you. Chris Graham did a great job there with the 2-on-1, and again, he forced a half guard, but he's got to get to a bit of a better position. He doesn't want Shelby just to pass again. And there we go. He locks up the close guard. Now he can start to take a couple deep breaths to recover. He had to use a lot of energy there. And if I'm Shelby, in his situation, he doesn't want to give Chris too much time to recover. He's got to look to stay on the attack. Break those grips, posture up, and break the guard. Chris Graham's doing a good job of keeping Shelby broken down. He knows this is a good opportunity for him to kind of start to fire back. He was forced to play a lot of defense. Now he's got a grip on the collar and a grip on the wrist. Looking for a scissor sweep maybe here. He's got the knees in front of the shoulders. Maybe thinking about a back take. Shelby goes up on the foot to prevent that, but that's kind of exposing him to the arm lock by posting that foot. Chris looking to get the angle. He's trying to cut that angle, couldn't quite get it. Pulls the arm across the center line, controls the head, climbs the legs up. He's got the shoulder trap. Shelby's got to be really careful here. He tries to pull out. Shelby should drive back in further. He doesn't want that shoulder trapped. If that shoulder is trapped, his right shoulder, that's danger. Chris pushes off the face and gets the armbar. Roughly 12 minutes. What got the armbar for Chris was that. He got the leg over the shoulder, and now you're going to see him use his right hand to kind of frame off of Shelby's head and neck, and then he's going to start to pivot. You see he controls the arm. He's still over the shoulder. Now with the left hand, he frames, and now he's got it. Beautiful armbar to get the job done. It ain't over till it's over. Chris Graham was forced to play defense a lot of that match. Shelby had his opportunities. He'll obviously be back. He's a champion and a warrior, but a great win for Chris Graham and an awesome match. Thanks to both of those guys for that.